prospects from this group this year. And here they are. We're bringing in Kate Ogden and Allie Carlson. How are you guys doing today?
We're great.
Good.
Good. Excited to get talking with you. You're my first year head coach that I'm talking to of the day. So I'm very excited to hear what led you to Western Michigan. What was it about Western Michigan that made this, the right move for you at the right time?
Well, I've been familiar with the MAC for a long time. Having played here, let me rephrase that, having played in this arena previously, and then just in the league. As a student athlete, I've always had a lot of respect for what Kalamazoo was and, the competitive teams that they were able to put together before my tenure here. And, as a young professional, I've always just thought this area was just kind of like a hidden gem and so a sleeping giant, so to speak. And so when you take that with the amount of resources that they're pouring into not only athletics, but women's basketball specifically, we've got, a $550 million new arena coming in the next 2 seasons here. It's a great time to be a Bronco, and I was just lucky enough that they said yes to me. So lots of really great things happening here.
And you bring back actually 6 returners from the previous season, which is kind of rare, right? When there's a new coach that comes in, typically more players will enter the transfer portal. Allie, you're one of the players who opted to come back for your senior season. What made you come back to Western Michigan?
Yeah, I really liked my teammates. A lot of them were staying. And then from the very first Zoom call with Coach Kate, I knew I wanted to stay, and I just completely agreed with everything that she had said, her vision for our team. So I knew I wanted to be back and play for her for my last year.
Everything.
Kate, what's the culture that you're hoping to bring here and instill in this group this year?
Well, I feel a little bit lucky that Shane did such a really great job of assembling fantastic humans here in our program, and so I'm walking into a really great situation in terms of the caliber of character with our players, and when you mesh that, or when you don't have to spoon feed that to your players, and you just have to talk about the grittiness, and then what really is going to be our team identity this season. And we talk about this a lot, that I would love our program to be a miniature version of Coach Kate, right? It should take the personality of your head coach, and I have a really quiet, maybe not quiet all the time, but I have a really confident intensity to me, and I want to win basketball games, and that's something I hope bleeds through to all of our athletes. But I think it's my job to empower young women to be strong women. So, basketball aside, that's what we're going to be here as a culture. And we hope to win a lot of games in the process. And I think we're going to. I've got a really strong group, not only character-wise, but they're good basketball players. They're good basketball players too. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Awesome. And Allie, she said she wants this team to be kind of a miniature version of her, and that they should be, right? What is she like? What's the personality that she's, bringing to the table for you guys right now that you're going to be mini hers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very intense, very competitive, but also she's just a great person, great coach, and she's such a great leader. And I think that if we are all like Kate, we're going to be successful because that's just who she is. But yeah, super competitive and likes to win.
That's a great answer. I really liked that. If we're going to be like you, we're going to be successful. I love that. And along with the returners that you bring back, you also had a really fun transfer class that I'm excited about. And in particular, you bring over a player from where you were previously that I'm really excited about because, one of my favorite things is the freshman to sophomore jump. I say this on everyone I talk to. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah, exactly. And you bring over Kylie Starks, and she's someone who had a really good freshman campaign with you last year. What can we expect from her this season?
She's already taken quite the leap for us. She showed up to campus in the summer having lost about 15 pounds. And it was a great job by her. And then she just locked into our conditioning and our weightlifting with our strength coach this summer. And I think has been so far a really excellent leader by example. And so she would tell you this herself, but I think she's in the best shape of her young career. And, the best thing for Kylie and about Kylie is she knows what's going on more than anyone else on the floor right now. And she finds confidence in that. And certainly I think her teammates do as well. And, when she plays that hard right alongside Carlson here, our backcourt is just ferocious. There's a lot of intensity there. We've got our 5.5 minute miler over here that seems like she can run for days. So, between the two of them, it's pretty explosive and it's a lot of fun to watch every day.
Allie, you might know these returners even better than your coach do, right? Because you've been with them. Who's someone that maybe I'm not looking at enough yet that's really impressed you, maybe over the years or specifically this offseason, that I need to be getting my eye on right now?
That's hard because I feel like I could honestly say anyone on the team. But specifically for returners, I would say, I mean, Nile, she was injured last year. She's coming back from that. And I'm just really impressed by how she's coming back and getting into her role. She plays it really well. And then honestly, any of the other returners, like I could say something good about everybody, but she's one.
How about you, Kate? What's impressed you? Because obviously, these are players that you almost inherited in a way. You chose to keep them, but you inherited them in a way. What's impressed you kind of getting to know them over the past few months?
Their personalities have been awesome, and that's been a really fun thing for me. But we competed against Western Michigan last season when I was at Detroit Mercy, and so I felt like I knew a little bit about each returner's game, and then getting to spend time with them now, really from the summer until this point. They've just been full of surprises, and they might not pass the quote unquote eye test, or based on what they did last season. We're trying not to make judgments of their game based on what we had previously seen. So we're putting them in a lot of scenarios where their game just gets to shine, and then it's our job to put them in the right spots. And so I agree with Allie. Nile has been a big bright spot because we didn't even know if she'd be healthy. But, I think you're going to see great things from Allie Harness. I think you're going to see great things from Demijah Bolds. And, Deanna Richardson has had a really good preseason for us too. And so, just empowering those players to be at their best in the spots where they're at their best. So that's what it's been about in the preseason. And it's been a lot of fun for me as a head coach taking over a program like this.
Well, this is a team that can shoot the three. This is a team that has some grit to them, right? What do you see as the biggest strength of this group?
Their offensive ability. They move the ball tremendously well, probably better than any team that I've ever coached. They are unselfish. They push the pace really well. And again, they don't pass the eye test. So when you think you're taking away one thing, the ball just moves so fast that they're finding something else. And that's a credit a lot to Allie and how she plays. And sometimes it's a little bit erratic. We talk about it in practice in the best ways. But what we've done this preseason is we're really learning how to move off each other well. And, I think that's what is going to allow us to find a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. What are your goals for year one? And then Allie, for your senior year, what do you hope to accomplish?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I will. Obviously, just winning and winning with my team is great. We have a lot of goals for that. And then right now, just getting to know how we play together and continuing to build that relationship on and off the court. We've really grown in that a lot already, but just continuing that is my main goal right now.
Yeah, and on the basketball side for us, like obviously we want to win basketball games, but we want to lay the foundation for what Western Michigan women's basketball looks like forever, right? We want to be tough. We want to recruit the right types of players. We want to play fast. All those things are really important, but for us, it's setting the standard for excellence. And that started for us in the summer. We were lucky enough to be surrounded by champions. Our hockey team won a national championship. You got women's soccer, men's soccer, volleyball. We got to train with champions. And I really pushed our players to see what that looked like every day. And, that's a standard that we want to set here. And that's what we're marching towards.
Absolutely. Allie, I heard a little story about you, and I wish I had the video of it, but I heard a little bit about your work ethic because I heard there was a small group workout, and I heard there is video evidence. I need to see it at some point where you played. There was like a demo going on, and you played as all three players, and you passed the ball to yourself, and then I don't even know, but I heard a little bit about how strong of a work ethic you have and how funny that moment was for everyone around you too.
Yeah, that was great. I think I did a great job showing that. It was an offensive motion that we run, and I did a great job, yeah.
I wasn't at the small group that day, and so when I got to watch it back on film, I was amazed at how quickly she played 4 spots.
That's funny. Hopefully, I don't know if we'll see that in game, but it's good to know you can do it, right?
We will not see that in games.
It was surprising people, right? You have her passing the ball to herself. I love it. And then
it's one heck of an offensive strategy.
Exactly. That would surprise some people. And I also heard something about you, Kate, that I didn't know, that I was like, oh my goodness, like you could be a pro golfer, like you were recruited to
Oh,
golf. And then I heard that you were golfing with your staff and you absolutely dominated competition and they could not keep up with you at all. Is that true?
they told you that because they want to keep their jobs, right?
I don't know.
No,
I don't, I
I
heard
love golf.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
I
love
heard
golf.
maybe
I
track
love
and
playing
field
golf.
too. Like, what was it? So basketball was one of three, right? That you were recruited to play when you were going through your process. Obviously, we're all glad you ended up in basketball, but you can surprise some people with those other skills you have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't move very athletically anymore, which I think is why I'm pretty good at golf because it's muscle movement and muscle memory. But yeah, I was a multi-sport athlete out of high school, and I was recruited by almost every MAC school to go there to play golf and basketball, and then I had quite a few Power Four schools that recruited me for track and field. And truthfully, I picked basketball because I love the team aspect of it, but I come from a really blue collar family, and basketball scholarships were full rides. And so,
Yeah.
I knew my parents couldn't afford to put all of us through college, and I was just lucky enough to get a scholarship. And that's the beauty of now being in the MAC, is like that's what brought me to the MAC to begin with. We found a lot of success in college, and the hope is that we continue that on the coaching side now. Like I did it as an athlete, but it's time to take the leap, and this no better place to do it than at Western Michigan.
Yeah, how cool is it for you to be back in this league? What do you love so much about it from all of your many experiences with the MAC? And how excited are you to get started here?
Can you say that one more time? We froze.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. How excited are you to, and how cool is it to be back in the MAC after kind of talking about all of your experiences that you've had either in or with the MAC? How cool is it to be here and how excited are you to get started, playing real games in the MAC?
Yeah, it feels a little bit nostalgic, if I'm being honest with you. As a professional, this has been a league I've wanted to get to. I don't want to say it was the end game. I just thought that, one day it would be really awesome to be back competing against a lot of institutions I had familiarity with. And, I know that the MAC is changing. I know that we've added UMass this year, so the landscape changes a little bit, but, the rivalries don't change. And, the feeling you get when you step into, Savage Hall or the Stroh Center at Bowling Green, or, when you get to walk into Reed Fieldhouse for one of the last few times, that's what MAC basketball is. And that's what's made it so special for such a long time. And that's why great players pick our league, because they want to be a part of that. And it's just really special. And, I'm going to love going back to Bowling Green and looking at all those banners that we got to raise. And again, the hope is that we do that here.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to see what you do in year one. And Allie, I'm very excited to watch your senior campaign. Loved watching you last year. Great defensively. You shot the ball a lot more last season too, which was fun to watch. So excited to see what happens in year one with you, Kate. And I appreciate you coming on to talk with us today.
Thanks, Talia. Thanks for
Thank
all you do for
you.
women's basketball.
Thank you.